Okay. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining Brenda and myself today. The class does have a focus on sort of how we incorporate the oils into our kind of training world, our athletic world. Let me just. I'm just going to mute everybody so that we don't have this sort of feedback, if that's okay. If anyone has any questions, you can just unmute yourself and we'll happily ask, or you can just pop a message into the chat. So thank you for joining us. Like I said, Brenda and myself are very excited to have you here with us this morning, especially on Father's Day, where I'm sure our fathers or our husbands are wishing that we weren't on a call and maybe doing something different. But anyway, maybe the later. To say thank you for being such amazing fathers. But yeah, so welcome, and we're thrilled to have you here. So the class it's kind of an essential oils 101 class. So we're going to take you through kind of the oils on a high level, but also with a focus on athletes and how we can incorporate the oils into our training. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how I got into using the oils, and then Bren will do the same. And then we'll just chat about a couple of cool things about the oils, how we use them, and then we'll go into more details about each of the oils that we will be discussing today. Okay, so my background with the oils actually started a couple of years ago when my daughter got alopecia, and alopecia is hair loss. So her hair fell out, the whole top of her head here. There was no hair. It was bald, like the palm of your hand bald. And obviously it was very traumatic for my husband and myself. And you know, when this happened, we kind of thought, okay, well, you know, we need to find out why this is happening. And we went to Dr. Google, as you do. And you know, I don't ever advise that you do that. It was a terrifying thing to kind of type in hair loss in children. And the sort of the stuff that comes up. So I don't recommend that we do that ever. But nonetheless, we'd done it. So we realized that we weren't going to be able to fix this on our own, and we then sought help. And that came in the form of a dermatologist. That didn't really help. After about a month of topical application of cortisone onto her scalp. And then a friend of mine phoned and said that a couple of years prior, she had lost her father, and a similar thing had happened to her. And she kind of threw money at the problem, going overseas, money on all sorts of treatments, and nothing worked until she found this Dr. Alexander that was in Bedford View. So off we took Katie, and it was quite a hectic treatment of cortisone injections into the top of her head, twice a week for 3 months. She blew up because of all the cortisone. But anyway, I mean, the hair then started growing back. So while that was all happening, we sent her to a clinical psychologist to really understand what the issue was. And when the assessments came back and told me that my child was anxious, I didn't believe. She does not present as an anxious child at all. Well, my understanding of what anxiety looks like. So I then took it upon myself now to help her, and you know, started researching natural ways to assist her. And the usual suspects came up: breathing, meditation, yoga. And through all of this, there was this common thread that kept popping up, and this was essential oils. And I didn't know anything about essential oils at that time. You know, for me, they were just nice, smelly things. But there was no medicinal or kind of therapeutic value. Anyway, the more I dug and the more research I did, I realized that these were amazing tools for her to use to help her with her anxiety and stress management and all of that. And we started using them, and it had a profound effect on her and helping her manage. And since those days, I have now incorporated the oils into every single aspect of my entire family's health and wellness, and into my training. So I did Ironman, half Ironman last year, and this year was meant to be doing the Oxpecker race, which has been postponed, as well as Skokuza in November. So I'm doing some fairly long distance running, and have now included the oils into my training. and we'll take you through how we do that. So that's a bit about my background. So Bren, if you want to just unmute yourself and you can chat about your experience.
Okay, so I met with Nikki. I met him later on, but Nikki, a friend of ours, she had gone to Utah last year in the States to find out more about the essential oils. And I had heard that she had gone. So when she got back, it was probably about October time last year, I thought, well, let me pop in for coffee and go and see what's up. Anyway, she told me about these oils and we got chatting because she asked me about my kids. And both my kids are at Bella Vista. Both of them have got ADHD. And I had just got to the end of my tether with Ritalin, and then the Ritalin, the side effects are then anxiety, and then it's lack of sleep, and then lack of eating, and it was just like an endless thing, and it was a script for this and a script for that. Anyway, so that's how Nix and I got started, and she introduced me to the oils, and they've just helped the kids so much. Roscoe now doesn't need his roller for sleep anymore. He sleeps, and I think it's those neural pathways that have been activated, opened, or whatever the right word is. And my daughter is older, and she's got a roller for anxiety. In fact, my son does as well. And just to give you an example, he went back to school last week, and he said to me, "Mom, please can I take wild orange with me?" So unfortunately, it's not one of the top 10 oils, but it's obviously one of the citrus, so lemon would have the same kind of benefits. Anyway, so he takes his little bottle of wild orange with him, and he just gives it a smell every now and again, and it just reassures him, and it takes that anxiety. It helps with his anxiety. So that's how I got into the oils, and it just so happened that after I had quite a big year of training, I had 2 big years, 2 back-to-back full Ironman, and I did all the halves, and yeah, I was really on a roll, and obviously your body starts to then cave in. So I had an injury at the end of last year that I carried after the Germiston, I can't remember what it's called, but the Germiston triathlon. And so I started using the oils for my injury, and I actually went to a physio and then to also somebody to do like a sports massage, and I would take the oils with them and with me, and I actually went to probably two or 3 sessions, and I was actually fine after that, after really having this injury for quite a long time. So I wish I had these oils for the last 2 years to incorporate in my training, to help with all sorts of things, whether it be a smelly tacky or a smelling cycling hat, helmet. Anyway, so that's how I got into the oils, and we use them all the time. In fact, I was asking Em this morning, my daughter had a nosebleed, and it was so reassuring to know exactly what I could use, and I had them on hand to go and help her. So anyway, that's how I got into the oils, actually, so through my kids and their ADHD.
Great. Thanks, Bren. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen so that you don't have to look at Bren or myself the whole time. So let me just share the screen with you, and you can just let me know if you can see it. Okay, great. So this is just the class Essential Oils Made Easy, and the goal of the class is to empower you. If Bren and myself achieve nothing today other than just opening your minds up to the potential or the possibility of researching other ways to manage and proactively support our health and wellness, then we've done our job. And that is the main goal, is just to empower you, to give you options. So we're going to look at 3 cool things about the oils, 3 ways we can use them, and how you get them into your home. So the 3 cool things about the essential oils are their safety, their efficacy, and the affordability. So from a safety point of view, these oils are 100% natural and safe. There are no side effects and no addictions. So when we talk about natural, why it's important that the essential oils that we use are 100% pure is because of the way that they manufacture, or the way that they make the essential oil. So the oils come from various parts of the plant, whether it be the root or the leaf, the resin, whatever the case may be, and they distill it and they cold press it. And what you end up with is a very concentrated kind of essence of the plant, the oil of the plant. Now you can imagine if there are pesticides or fertilizers or anything like that in the soil where these plants are being grown, the process of distillation and cold pressing is just going to concentrate anything that is on that plant at the time. So it's going to concentrate pesticides, it's going to concentrate fertilizers, and then what we do is then we put that onto our skin, or we inhale concentrated pesticides. So it's very important that the oils that we use are 100% natural. The oils that I'm talking about are doTERRA essential oils. I'm not talking about essential oils in general. These are the particular oils that we are talking about. The doTERRA essential oils are 100% pure. Now, there's no FDA or governing body when it comes to essential oils, so no one is overseeing exactly what is happening with these oils. And doTERRA weren't happy with that. They were, they don't want to be giving their customers substandard products. So what they've done is they have coined this. It's like a trademarked purity stamp, and it's called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And what this is doTERRA putting each and every one of their oils through a series of 54 tests. 11 of those are outsourced. And if you go to, there's a website called Source for You. And if you go onto that website, you can actually search the results, the chemical results of that particular bottle of oil that you have. On the bottom of every single bottle of doTERRA oil is a number. You just type in that number and you can see the results. They've got to a point now where if the oil is not to their liking or to their high standards, they throw it away. They really are not interested in giving customers products that are not up to their standard. So that's from a purity point of view, that they make sure that every single bottle of oil is 100% pure, and what they say is in the bottle is in the bottle. There's no additives, there's no flavors, there's nothing. It's just the pure oil. Now, from a therapeutic grade, so that is kind of the medicinal value. Different plants grow better in different environments. So, for example, the lavender that grows in France and Bolivia is not the same as the lavender that we are growing here in our garden. And it's not the same from a therapeutic point of view. That is the medicinal value, its healing properties. And doTERRA realized that. So they don't own land. This is an American-based company in Utah, and they could have very easily just gone and bought acres and acres of land and just planted their crops. It would have been far more affordable for them to do that, but they haven't done that because they realize that different plants grow better in different environments. So they've gone and partnered with farms all across the world, whether it's France for their lavender, whether it's Somaliland for the frankincense, or New Zealand for eucalyptus. They've approached all of these farmers, and together they uplift that particular community, and they then get product that has this high therapeutic grade. And so the term Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade makes sure that the oils that we're using are 100% pure and they are potent, because they've got high purity and high therapeutic grade. So that's from the safety point of view. From an efficacy point of view, the essential oils are more effective than our modern approaches to health problems. And why that is because our synthetic medicines that we have today are water-based. And our water-based medicines cannot penetrate into our cells through the cell membrane into our cells. You might ask, well, why is that important? And that is important because of the mechanism by which viruses use to replicate. So viruses are able to pass through our cell membrane. They then insert their DNA into our cell DNA. And just by the natural process of our cells replicating and duplicating themselves, so the virus then replicates and grows as well. So our synthetic medicines are unable to deal with a virus once it inserts its DNA into our cells. With the oils are carbon-based, are also oil, and they are able to permeate through the membrane, meaning that they can then hit the target of the virus inside of our cells. So there are components in an oil like oregano that have been shown in research papers to disrupt the cell membrane of viruses and bacteria. So when it comes to using oils as opposed to our synthetic medicines, it doesn't matter if you have a viral infection or if you have a bacterial infection. The essential oil is able to manage the bacterial infection that is sitting outside of our cells, as well as the viral infection that is now sitting inside of our cells. So I'm sure we've all been to the doctor and with flu symptoms, and he'll or she will say to you, we don't know if this is viral or if this is bacterial, but here are some antibiotics. Take these and let's see how you kind of feel in a couple of days. So you take the antibiotics along with probiotics, because you are annihilating all the good bacteria in our gut because of the antibiotics. So you take the antibiotics, and 3 days later you phone your doctor and you're still not feeling any better. And he or she then says to you, well, unfortunately, this must be a viral infection and there's nothing that we can do for a viral infection. So here's something to boost your immune system. Here's something to dry up the mucus. Here's something for pain. You're just going to have to get into bed and sit this out. With the oils, it doesn't matter whether it's viral or whether it's bacterial. The oils are able to target both viruses and bacteria. So it makes no difference so you don't need to know what type of infection you have. The oil is able to cope with both. So from an affordability point of view, we actually did an exercise. Well, a colleague of ours did an exercise with her little boy. It was 8 o'clock at night and he was complaining of a sore ear. Now, of course, these things always happen at 8 o'clock at night when we don't have access to any medical care. And what we did the exercise as to what she did and what traditionally would have happened to treat this particular incident. So what we would have done is we would have maybe given the child some Calpol and Nurofen to deal with the pain, and put the child to bed like that. We would have woken up in the morning, the ear would be no better, and we would have then had to have made a doctor's appointment, probably taken time off work, taken your child out of school if it was a weekday, and then gone to the pharmacy to potentially be given an antibiotic, an immune booster, a painkiller, and all of that. Now, when we calculated that cost, you're probably looking at about 1,000 Rand just for that event. Now, how Dom, our colleague, how she actually treated it was she put Melaleuca and lavender, and we'll chat a little bit about those oils as to why she used those, onto a piece of cotton wool, and she put it into her son's ear and she put him to bed like that. Now, the difference between these two approaches is what your body is actually doing during those 12 hours that you are now sleeping. So with the traditional medical care, what you've done is we've just stopped the healing process the natural healing process of our body. So the Nurofen and the Calpol, yes, certainly take away the pain. And all it does is it blocks off our pain mechanism. So we don't feel the pain, but we have not dealt with what the underlying reason is for the infection. When we give our child essential oils, we are dealing with the pain, but what we're doing is we're giving that child 12 hours for our natural body mechanisms to work. Our bodies are amazing. They're built to heal themselves. And what we don't want to do is be blocking pathways that allow that to happen. And that's what the oils do. They support our healthy mechanisms and support our body in healing itself. And that's important. So I remember when my kids were small, I was kind of told that fevers in children are very dangerous. And yes, I agree. And so we were told that under all circumstances, we need to get the fever down. Now, the problem with doing that is our body's natural defense to healing bacterial and viral infections is to increase our body temperature. Those germs do not like increased body temperature. So that's how our bodies deal with it. It increases our body temperature. It's our natural response to infection. Now, when we go and give our kids traditional or ourselves traditional medication, we completely block that off. And within 2 hours, we see the body temperature coming down, and we think we've done an amazing thing, when in actual fact, we haven't. Because now what we've done is we've created an unbelievable kind of environment for bacteria and viruses to continue to grow, because there's no increased body temperature. And it was a fear that was being put into us as parents right from when our kids were small. There's nothing wrong with fevers in children. Yes, we have to manage it, and if it gets to a point where we're not managing it, then absolutely we need to get our medical care involved. But we are able to very successfully manage fevers in children using the oils. So when we look at an affordability point of view, our traditional medicine as opposed to kind of our more alternative medicines, our alternative methods are far more cost effective, and you can save hundreds of rands every year. And you also have these in your home, ready to be used. So whether it's 8 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, or whatever the case may be, we have these in our home. You are the healer in your home, and you have these elements ready for you to use, and it's very, very empowering. Okay, are there any questions? Is everyone okay?
All good, thanks, Anna.
Okay, so Brenda's just going to take you through quickly the 3 ways that we can use the oils.
Okay, so there are 3 ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. I'm going to go through aromatically first. So if you pinch the bridge of your nose, you've got the olfactory nerve there. And when you inhale or take in the scent or smell, it sends a nerve, this nerve sends a message to the limbic system in our brain, which then sends a message to our entire body. So when we breathe in natural compounds from essential oils, they hit our olfactory nerve, and this sends signals throughout our body. And it can happen within as much as 30 seconds. So if you think of going to the dentist, for example, or in for surgery, they'll put the anaesthetist will put mask on your face, and he'll make you count down from 10. And you pretty much are out for the count before you get to 5. And so that's how quickly it happens. And I always thought aromatically was kind of a soft touch and wasn't really, whatever. But if you think of it like that, it really does, that's how effective it is. So there are a few ways we can use these oils aromatically. And one of them, earlier I mentioned my son wanting to take wild orange in a little bottle. So all he does is literally take the lid off that bottle and inhale. So that's one of the ways. One of the other ways, and Em can show you later, is we use a diffuser, and I use my diffuser all the time. So I put it next to my kids' beds at night, and I'll put On Guard, for example, if they want to boost their immune system. We'll obviously go through all the oils later. And then the other way is just to put a drop in your hand. So there's an oil called Breathe, and before I go for a run, I'll just put a drop in my hand, and then literally rub my hands together and inhale like that. You can also just put the drop on your hand and rub around your neck. You're still going to get the effect of that oil. So aromatically really is quite powerful. I also think that aromatically it brings up memories too. So for example, if I smell the smell of cut grass, it reminds me of my folks and growing up for some reason. So it's amazing how different smells can trigger different memories as well. And we'll go through all the different oils, but they also, just in diffusing certain oils help with brain fog or to calm you down. They really do help emotionally. So aromatically, don't ever underestimate it, because it really is, it's one of the most powerful, I would say. Then topically as well, this would be so when earlier I said I had an injury, so what I would do is actually drop the oil onto the area, and it was actually down at my ankle, so drop the oil on there and then rub the oil in. So that would be topically. We also use I'll get one now. So we use these little roller bottles, and we would put oils in there depending on what you need, whether for calm, anxiety, whatever, and then you just roll that on your pulse points on your head. So topically we use quite a lot. You do use fractionated coconut oil when you apply oils topically, and this is to help with the absorption as well. So if you put an oil on with fractionated coconut oil, and fractionated coconut oil is just when the fat is taken out, so it's in a liquid form. You put that on the skin as well, just to help with the absorption. And they say the absorption, it actually increases absorption by like 10%. One of the other ways is to put an oil up and down your spine. It would obviously be topically as well, and you put fractionated. It's called layering. So you would layer the oils on your spine. This is one of the great ways, especially with kids. And directly onto, so for head tension or muscle aches, you would put an oil directly onto that area as well. I guess with topically we use it, I do use it quite a lot. Obviously with kids in the morning, I would, before they go to school, I would definitely put an oil on underneath their feet, because the pores on the feet are bigger, and the absorption of the oil under your feet is far greater, and your feet aren't as oily as other areas. So I would definitely use that on the kids in the morning before they go to school. Put a bit of an oil on for anxiety. As I said, my daughter suffers from anxiety as well. So those are kind of like the different ways we can use topically. Then internally would be, so every morning there's one of the oils that comes with one of the smaller kits, we'll go through that later, is called Smart and Sassy. I put 2 drops under my tongue, and that would be 3 times a day. So that would be one way. It's internally. Lemon and water would also be internally, because you do a couple of drops in water and in warm water, and I do that every morning. And you obviously drink the water. Another way is also in veggie caps. I don't have any with me now, but maybe Em, if you've got, you can show later on. So veggie cap, you can get them from Dis-Chem. It's a little capsule. You can also take your Panada capsules or whatever and empty the contents and put the oils in there. So one of the oils that we've got is oregano. It's like our antibiotic. We'll go through it later. And it's a hot oil. So one of those, that kind of oil you definitely take in a veggie cap. And then you'd obviously just swallow it. So these oils are very versatile. You can use them in quite a few different ways. We'll go through the oils, and when we do, there is one particular one you cannot take internally, but otherwise you can take the other ones, whether it be under your tongue, in water, in a veggie cap, and then topically, obviously, as we said, with the fractionated coconut oil. The other thing too is at Woolworths you can buy coconut oil, but obviously it's the solid in a tub that you can also use. That would be, if I just to use quickly. So this morning my daughter had a nosebleed, so I actually took the oil, put it on her nose, and then quickly took some of that oil and rubbed it over the top, because I didn't have a roller pre-mixed for a nosebleed, so you could use it quickly like that. So those are the 3 ways, very easy. What I do want to say about the diffuser, when I bought my kits, I didn't buy the diffuser, and it was such a regret at the time. I now have 3, and I put them in our kids' rooms every single night, and I've got one next to my bed as well. So yeah, the 3 ways.
Great. Thanks so much, Bren. Does anyone have any questions? Can we carry on? Cool. Okay. So what we're going to go through now is just what are called the top 10 oils. So doTERRA have put into a kit what they call the top 10 oils. And why they're called the top 10 is that with these oils, we can cope with or manage 90% of the everyday issues that we encounter with ourselves or with our family. So in this kit, or this top 10, are 6 single oils, and there are 4 blends. So the first single oil we're gonna look at is lemon. So at the top of the screen, you can just see these little icon letters here. And this is just how we can take it. So either aromatically, topically, or internally. Now with lemon is very detoxifying. And what that means is lemon is able to pull toxins out of our cells, which we then excrete through our lymphatic system, or just through our usual metabolism. So fantastic to put a drop, like Bren says, in your drop of water, a drop in your water in the morning. lemon, because it pulls out toxins, you can only use lemon in glass or in metal. It actually can pull the chemicals out of plastic, and then you drink those. So we only use lemon and citrus oils in glass and or metal. Lemon is also very alkalizing. I've been drinking lemon water forever, and since now having the lemon oil, I only use the oil. Disease don't like alkaline bodies. Disease love acidic bodies. So as best we can, we try and eat foods or take elements that allow our body to be in a more alkaline state. And that's what the lemon does. It's also great for seasonal allergies. Now, from a training perspective, lemon is an amazing tool to decrease lactic acid buildup in muscles. So as we've done a long run or we've had a hectic training day, the lemon is able to assist in getting that lactic acid out of our muscles and into our lymphatic system, which then will be metabolized and we will then excrete. So that's lemon.
Okay. So with lavender, it definitely is not just one of those oils that's lovely to smell. There's a lot to it, more so than that. So skin irritations, and as you can see, as Em said at the top, aromatically, topically, internally. So you can use it all three ways. So to help skin irritations, it's anti-inflammatory as well. It stops bleeding quite quickly. So this morning with my daughter as well, I used lavender. It was quite a hectic bleed. So lavender is really good for bleeding as well. At the end, I think we might go through. Emma might be stand to be corrected, but there's a spray called an Aoi spray, and lavender would be in that. And so it helps with bug bites and stings. It obviously has a calming effect too, so at night for sleep it really would be good. So when it comes to skin issues, so chafing, we've all experienced chafing either from your sports bra or whatever the case is. Lavender would be really good on the chafing or for a razor burn as well. And it's also good for sunburn. So I would mix in summer a spray bottle with lavender. So when the kids get that, burn around the neck, you just put lavender all over there. Obviously, we all know what we look like after a day in the sun racing. You either got that wonderful tea back tan. So straight after a race would also be good, or that evening after a bath, a soothing bath, is to put lavender on. It is also good for growing pains as well. So that's one of the ways you can use it as well. And then with lemon and peppermint, we would mix a roller and it'll help with allergies. I think you might have mentioned it earlier, Em. Lavender can be used to help with bug bites as well, muzzy bites. Just put some lavender on there. And something I just thought was quite interesting. It takes 1.5 kg of lavender to make that goes into a 15 ml bottle. So for me, that was quite interesting, how much lavender is actually needed. It's antiviral and antibacterial. It will definitely help on your blisters as well, on your feet after also sometimes if I don't cycle with gloves on, get blisters on my hands, and lavender would help with that.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
For any triathletes out there, you know that sleep is actually your fourth discipline. So along with your swimming, cycling, and running, sleep is as important, and lavender is great for that. So the next one is peppermint. Peppermint is an amazing oil to give you focus. It's very energizing. It just opens up your chest. It's the oil that we use to manage fevers. So it's got a cooling effect on the body, heartburn. So from a training perspective, you would use this either on your bike just to give you a little bit of boost. In the morning, I actually put a drop of peppermint into my coffee, and it wakes you up, reduces fatigue. It's just a pick me up. It's an amazing oil to have in your little bike bag on the back of your bike. So when you start feeling that slump when you are on K80 of a half Ironman, it's quite nice to have this in your back pocket and just give yourself a bit of a whiff. And amazing how it just gets you energized. So that is peppermint.
Okay. So the next one, oregano, sorry. I was expecting a tea tree. So oregano is one of those, it smells all things pizzery. So it's quite a strong smell. It's not necessarily my favorite. But as Em's got, again, you can take it internally, but it's a hot, very hot oil. So you'd have to take it in a veggie cap. It would be really good for anything. So it's like your antibiotic, obviously, and antiviral. So if you've got, it's good at, it helps with fighting things like warts. If you've got, I know that a friend of mine actually had a UTI infection, and she used oregano with lemon and tea tree internally. Helps with that. And yeah, definitely taking it before an event, just to help with not getting sick. We all freak out when we 10 days before the event, you've done all the training. And then again, I would take it in a veggie cap just to boost the body. So oregano is a very, very strong oil. And as I said, it smells very much like pizza. And what else? Yeah, you can use it for cooking as well. One of those before, I'm not sure how much carbo loading people do, but you can definitely have oregano on your pizza the night or 2 nights before your race. There's one of our rollers that we make, and it's called our morphine bomb, and oregano's in there. We'll go through that at the end. And it's very good for like rashes and itching. You can mix that with other oils as well. So oregano is one of the important top 10s.
Great. Thanks, Bren. So here's your Melaleuca. Sorry, I obviously had the slides mixed up. So this is Melaleuca, commonly known as what we know it as tea tree. It's another oil that we are fairly familiar with. Fantastic for skin irritations, also antibacterial, antiviral. It's the main constituent of Burn Shield. So if you go and look at the back of a bottle of Burn Shield, you'll see there it's tea tree, as well as our lice shampoos. And sometimes when I smell tea tree, I just shudder, because we've had a couple of incidents of lice through the schools, and my daughter's got this thick curly hair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. Anyway, so that's tea tree. Now, tea tree, fantastic for, like Brent says, like with the lavender, is for chafing. Awesome for athlete's foot because of its antibacterial, kind of fungal properties. So, and also for all those toenail nasties, when you've running long distances, your toenails inevitably fall off or start looking a little bit funky. So tea tree is great for that. Awesome for UTIs. So just a drop or two diluted into our panties actually, and that sorts out UTIs beautifully. Also shoe odor, so a drop or two into our shoes, and we get rid of that, all those lovely shoe smells. So really is a very versatile oil to use. Fantastic for acne as well. So all of those skin issues. Okay, that's Melaleuca.
Okay, frankincense. This is the king of oils. It really is an amazing oil. There's no wonder that baby Jesus got it as a gift. It as it says, promotes calm feelings. Frankincense is from Somaliland. Comes from Somaliland, and they bleed the tree, and they can only bleed the tree for a certain amount of time. So that's why it's one of our king oils, and possibly the most expensive oil, is because there's quite a lot that goes into getting the frankincense. So it's also anti-aging. You can use it on your skin. A lot of us can look quite wrinkly with all this training and running. So just to add a few drops in your moisturizer. I've done that, and it really is lovely for skin marks as well, sun marks. It helps the cells perform optimally, so you need your cells obviously as healthy as possible. Inhale all that oxygen and just up levels the other oils as well. So if you've got, for example, lavender and tea tree, if you add a bit of frankincense to that, it just up levels the oil. And you'd obviously put your carrier oil as well. It just helps with the absorption again, as I mentioned earlier, and the oils don't evaporate. It helps with inflammation. You'd also add it to your oils for chafing, and also ITB. So it'll help with your injuries as well, just to up level. So if you say use deep blue, which we'll get to, and you add frankincense, it'll just enhance that, the deep blue. So it very much helps with migraines as well, headaches. With the migraine, you would just take the bottle and you'd turn it upside down and put it on the roof of your mouth and the palate. And it's really good for migraines as well. It is actually, I don't have the article, but Nikki often talks about it being used for in cancer patients, reducing the cancer cells. So frankincense is really, it's used for so many different things, and it is possibly one of the the best oils. I think if I was stuck on a deserted island, frankincense is the one oil I would like to have with me. Okay.
Great, thanks, Bryn. So those are the 6 single oils that we've just discussed. Now we're going to go into the blends. doTERRA realized that there were a lot of the single oils that did similar things and would enhance each other. So they took all these single oils and put them into a blend. And the first blend we're looking at is called Breathe. This is called our respiratory blend, and it's got everything to do with respiration. It helps our lungs and our sinuses. It promotes clear breathing. My daughter actually uses this for her asthma, so she has a little roller in her hockey bag. Remember those days when kids played hockey and sport and all of that? But yeah, so when she just had a roller in her hockey bag. She still has her asthma pump on her, but she's had to use it far less than she did in the past. This is a great oil to increase our lung capacity. So this, along with deep breathing, has got an amazing way of increasing our VO2 maxes, which is very important when, obviously when we're trying to perform optimally. So Breathe is an amazing oil to have. Like Bren says, just a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, and a couple of deep breaths in just opens up your lungs and gets you ready for a good hard training session. So that's Breathe.
Okay, so Zengest, it smells very much like licorice. It's not necessarily my favorite smelling oil either, but it is very good for upset tummies. It helps bring the body back to homeostasis. So whether you've got constipation or diarrhea, it helps with both. It's not just one or the other. You can take it in a veggie capsule as well. If you've had like too much dairy or your tummy is just feeling bloated and not great, you can also put it in a drop of water. So there's another way to take it. A friend of mine, just to give you an example, they were going away on holiday and her son suffers severely from car sickness. And she had mixed a roller of Zengest for him, and she just helped him put it on his tummy. And she said it helped him so much. He didn't get sick once on the drive to, I think they were going to South Broome. So it definitely helps with motion sickness. It also helps with sinuses. So if you put a roller in a roller with fractionated coconut oil and just put it above your eyes here to help break down the mucus, and under your eye over here, it's really good for to break down that mucus as well. You can put it in a drop of bath water as well, and Epsom salt, just to help your healthy digestion. And you can even put it straight onto your tummy as well. So you don't necessarily have to just use it in a roller, and you put it on your stomach and rub in a clockwise direction. And so the other day, I was told that if you put it in your diffuser, it definitely helps with emotion, so with focus and anxiety. So I haven't used it in a diffuser yet, but I found that quite interesting because it wouldn't have struck me as one of those emotional kind of oils. But I use Zengest quite a lot, actually.
Great. Yeah, this is Bren, for those times where you've got to swim in that disgusting Germiston Lake water, or when I did Durban, the Durban half, they'd had all that flooding, and I definitely swam through some very interesting stuff in the sea. So I'm very grateful that I could help my tummy, and a couple of people actually did get sick because of that dirty water. So Zengest is great for that.
And I guess when you stand on the beach and the waves are like 2 meters high, and you think,
yeah, exactly.
What are those anxiety feelings?
Yeah. So Deep Blue. So this is every athlete's best friend. This is for muscular and joint aches and pains, for head tension, also great for headaches. So it's got wintergreen in. This is the one oil that, well, in fact, the second oil, Breathe, we can't take internally either. But the Deep Blue has got wintergreen in it. It's a very familiar smell that you'd recognize from all of your muscle rubs and that sort of thing. And so this is just the most amazing oil for muscle pain. So Epsom salt bath, so as hot as you can make the bath, with Epsom salts and a couple of drops of Deep Blue, unbelievable for muscular aches and pains after a long day of training. Also great for bruises, because if you're anything like me, I fell off my bike stationary. In fact, I never actually fell off my bike whilst going. It was always while I was stationary, which is actually just embarrassing. So the Deep Blue is great for bruising as well. So that's Deep Blue.
I was going to add, when I said I went to the physio, I took Deep Blue with me, so I could use that. Yeah.
Great.
So On Guard, On Guard would be really important throughout your training. It's an immune booster, so you would put it in a roller under your feet every day. It just it's a proactive immune booster, as Em says there. Even now, in times like these, I use it on my kids all the time just to prevent sore throats. We also, with going back to school, Em has done these really lovely hand sprays for us. So you would put On Guard in with a bit of oil and water and spray it on your hands just to sanitize those hands. You would spray on shopping trolleys, all those kind of things. So definitely On Guard you would use often as well. Sorry, On Guard you can also put on your blisters. And you could put a drop under your tongue at the first sign of a sore throat or anything like that. And you would, it's also very good for oral health as well. You can put it, I've just recently made a mouthwash and you'd put On Guard in there. doTERRA also do an On Guard toothpaste, which I use and really is amazing. So this would be a brilliant oil to use, as I said, leading up to a race, just to prevent those sore throats or just those as soon as you start feeling a bit niggly. But I would definitely use it on an ongoing basis leading up to a race.
Great. Okay, are there any questions? Is everyone okay? Okay, well, maybe we can ask some questions at the end. Okay, great. So what we're going to look at now is how do you get these oils? So, first, let's look at these. So Bren mentioned the immune bomb, and that is this layering technique that we use with 5 different oils: frankincense, lemon, oregano, On Guard, and melaleuca or tea tree. And in a layering kind of technique, we put the oils down the spine, and it's just an unbelievable immune bomb. So at the first sign of any sniffle or cough or anything like that, you do this technique, and it's incredible how it really boosts your immune system. So that is a great technique. The next one is the Owie or the wipeout spray. So this is like I was saying, when you wipe out off your bike and you get all of those scrapes and grazes and everything. This is what you use just to get all of that bacteria out of the wound. And the lavender and the melaleuca and frankincense together have got amazing skin healing properties. The last little recipe that we have is called the Just Do It. So this is to get you up and going before any race or any training. A little roller of this and a good, good kind of couple of deep breaths in, and this is really gets you focused, as well as calming you and ready for the race. So, Bren, do you want to talk through the different kits?
Yes. So have you got slides, Em, or not?
There you go.
Okay. So the kit which I mentioned earlier, which I had bought, comes with the diffuser. So the diffuser, if you bought it on its own, is about 700 Rand. So it definitely is a saving to have it as part of the kit. The bigger kit, the Home Essential kit, is got the 15 ml bottles. So you've got about 280 drops. So they are bigger. And the month of June is a brilliant time to start this journey, because 20% off is a big saving. It'll include your shipping as well. And I would definitely recommend having the diffuser as part of a kit. I mean, it's really great. I don't know if we mentioned with Breathe, for snoring and opening those help me here, your capacity. So the diffuser is a big help. And yeah, so that's the bigger kit. And as I said, it comes with the diffuser and the 15 ml bottles.
Yeah. Both of the kits that we're going to chat about also come with a very handy kind of reference guide. That's got all of the oils that are available, what they're used for, and some kind of handy recipes. When we buy the kit, it also gives you 25% off any oils that you use or you buy in the future. So if you run out of any, you are able to purchase more. We also give you a little ready-to-roll kit. And in that ready-to-roll kit are everything that you need to get you started. So some fractionated coconut oil, some rollers, little sample bottles, a spray bottle, so everything to get you going. Because what we don't want is you buy these kits and then they sit in your drawer. They're doing nobody any good sitting in your drawer. So we want you to use them. And we give you all the support that you need. There's continued education on all various aspects. We do a more advanced kind of athletes talk. We do advanced skin talks, women's health, all various different topics that so it's this continued education, and then obviously the support. So we are here to help you on this journey, so you don't ever have to feel sort of overwhelmed or anything like that, that we are here to support you in any questions that you have, answers you need or advice or anything like that, that we are here to support you, to make sure that you are using your oils and really uplifting you and your family's health and empowering you to use them. So that is the Home Essentials kit. Like Bren said, the bigger bottles, 15 ml bottles with the diffuser and all the other kind of value adds that we have put in for you, and 20% off. Now there's also a Family Essentials kit. The Family Essentials kit is a smaller kit. This comes with 5 ml of each of the oils. The same reference book, also discounts for oils going forward. The ready-to-roll kit, continued education and support. The Family Essentials kit also comes with Smart and Sassy. Smart and Sassy is our metabolic blend. That's great for blood glucose balancing, cravings, so everything to do with our metabolism. And this smaller kit for the month of June, 20% off, is 2,427 Rand. So this one doesn't come with the diffuser, it comes with the Smart and Sassy. So the two kits available are the Home Essentials kit for 3,671 Rand, all the oils, the diffuser, the book, and support and everything else you need. And then the Family Essentials is the smaller kit, 5 ml bottles, Smart and Sassy, the reference guide, and all the support and ongoing education and equipment that you need. So those are the two kits that are available. I'm just going to stop the sharing, and if there are any questions that anyone has, I'll just unmute everybody and you can just, if there are any questions. Everyone okay?
Emma and Brenda, I just wanted to say thank you so much for including the the way to train with the oils. So I also came across the oils last year, and I work with Jill. But I've got lots of friends who are, into training, and just to be able to start that conversation with them around how they can support themselves It's just, yeah, it's really fantastic. It just, because the oils can be used in so many areas of your life, sometimes it takes a little nudge to be like, oh, you can use them for this and you can use them for that. And so thank you for all those ideas. Also the lemon, like after you've done heavy exercise, just to, what did you say? It helps break down the lactic acid.
Yes, it draws the lactic acid out of your muscles. Yeah.
Like, I mean, just like those little nuggets of information are just so valuable. So thank you.
Pleasure, Lindy. I'm glad.
Can I ask, is the quantity that you take as an adult, is it a similar, I mean, it's not like you have one set of quantity, like I'm just thinking of whether it's the 15 ml or the 5 ml that would be suitable for a family of 4, considering that we're complete newbies into these oils. I mean, if I buy the 5 ml, how long should that last a family of 4, do you think?
So cans, the kits generally, the smaller kit will last you between 3 and 4 months, obviously depending how often you use them. Also, you use oils more often than you do others. So the smaller kit is about 3 to 4 months, and the bigger kit is between 6 and 7 months. So you can imagine if you're putting a drop of lemon in your water every day, that's 250 days is one bottle. We also use dilutions, depending on the age. So smaller children and the elderly have got different dilutions. So you'd be using less on your children depending on the age as opposed to you. There are different dilutions, and we help you with all of that. So you don't have to feel overwhelmed that you're going to. You can't. They're safe. You're not going to overdose. You're not going to. You're not going to cause any harm if by mistake you're giving your child 2 more drops than they should have had. It's not like that. So but we give you all of that information. So okay. All right.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Just Candice, on your question. So I when I found out about the special that doTERRA is running on the bigger family kits, I worked out that when I bought the kits in like October, November, I ended up paying the same price for the smaller kits, and I ordered a diffuser separately as it's on offer for now with like an extra, I think it's 90 milliliters of oil.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So I think I ended up paying about $3.5 for the small kits and a diffuser because I had to order it separately. And what doTERRA have done now is they've created the big kit, which is the big bottles, and a diffuser for the same price. I was like, oh, I should have signed up in June.
No,
I had the same.
Anyway,
I mean, it's when you like work out the cost per oil, like minus the diffuser price and minus the courier price, it works out to like it's like $280 a bottle of oil.
No, it is. It's crazy. And the thing with the kits is that's where the value is. It's to get you started. It's got the top 10 oils, all the oils that you would need at a great price to get you going. So, but thank you, Lindy. You're right. There is value in that.
I feel like it's when you feel like it's like your personal responsibility to tell people what a deal they're getting.
We all Great.
With the top 10, sorry. With the top 10, there's so many things that you can treat. I mean, I think it's so versatile. I reckon there must be 150 ways you can treat all sorts of things by using the top 10. So it's definitely worth it. And they say they're not addictive. Well, they're not addictive.
That's they're good.
Once you try them, you just want to get more and more and use them more and more. And that's why coming to the classes is so amazing, because you just hear of so many different ways people are using them. You're like, why didn't I think of that? Fabulous.
Thanks. If there are no more, are there any other questions? If there are, you're more than welcome to just contact the person who invited you to the class, and they'll give you more info. But thank you so much for joining Brenda and myself on Father's Day. We appreciate it, and we hope that, like we said, that if we've done nothing other than opening your mind up to the possibilities of considering using alternative therapies, then I feel we've done our job, and we hope we've empowered you, and we hope this has been informative and worthwhile. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and happy Father's Day. The person who invited you will contact you if you are interested in kind of pursuing and getting the oils. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Em.
everyone. Thanks,
Bye.
Emma.
So
Thanks,
much.
Brenda.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Em, I'll chat to you later.
You want to just stay on for a second, Bren?
Okay. Sorry, I just saw there was a comment.
Oh,
Oh, no, just saying goodbye.
okay, cool. Natalie? I hope I didn't scare her away. Sure. Okay, great. Thanks, Bren. I think that went well.
Yeah, thanks, Em. Sorry, I didn't do the kits justice. I'm glad you stepped in there. Yeah, you never know if you're giving enough information on the oils too. I mean, there's so much to give, and I do have to keep my notes because I've got.
The feel though that we let me just stop this recording.